My name is Michael Mastro, and this is Transformational Vedic Astrology. And today we're going to look at the interesting chart of Imran Khan, who is the Prime Minister of Pakistan. If you were to look to the eastern horizon on October 5th, 1952, and this is a rectified time of birth, 11:21 a.m., you would see the sign of Scorpio rising at 21 degrees. 21 degrees becomes the most effective point of every house. Any planet that's within 5 degrees of 21 becomes very powerful in this chart, either positive or negative. First, we're going to see how the planets are operating in this chart. Then we'll see when they're operating, because not everything happened at once. And then we'll see what we could do to improve the chart, remedy the chart. So let's first look and see the planets and how they're operating. So we know that for Scorpio, any of the multrikona signs, 1, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 11, wherever they happen to land in the chart, happens to be what this person is working on in this lifetime. So we see the sign of Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, which is a multrikona sign in the second house. So he's working on wealth and fame and recognition and continuation of the marital bond. I think he's been married 3 times. Then he's working on Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. That's a multrikona sign. Happiness through family and property. He's working on health and healing and debts. Aries, ruled by Mars in that 6th house. Then we see the house of good fortune, ruled by Cancer, ruled by Moon. So good fortune, religious experiences, teaching, all of that. Then career, Leo, ruled by Sun in that 10th house. Career, very important, working on that. Working on income and friendships. We have Virgo in the 11th house. And then Libra in the 12th house, ruled by Venus. He's working on spiritual growth through letting go of attachments. Now, wherever those multrikona signs fall in a Dustana house, the house of challenges that help us grow in our life, the 6th, the 8th, or the 12th house, the ruler of those signs becomes a functional malefic. So here we have Aries, ruled by Mars. So Mars in the 6th house, that becomes a functional malefic. And then Venus ruling Libra in the 12th house, that becomes functional malefic. So Rahu and Ketu are functional malefic for all signs, and then Venus and Ketu for Scorpio are added on to that. Now, because Rahu, Venus, and Ketu and Mars are not within 5 degrees of the most effective point, they're not afflicting any other planets or signs. I guess Venus could be afflicting Moon, but typically I don't see any other afflictions in the chart. So they're all fairly benign, not causing much issue. But they will cause issue in the transit chart from time to time when they are conjunct within 5 degrees or aspecting within 5 degrees another planet, or when they're transiting close to the most effective point, then they can be afflicting several houses as well. So let's just go through and see how the planets are operating. So Sun is at 18 degrees. That's within 3 degrees of the most effective point. So it becomes very powerful, and it is ruling the house of career in the house of income. So it gives career through leadership, organizational ability. So he was the leader or the team coach of his cricket team during his earlier days, and then now in politics he's the prime minister, so leadership there. So that's a very good planet for him. And you get good support from father. Sun is father. Moon is at 12 degrees. It's ruling this house of good fortune and religious experience and teachers. So he has good fortune through spiritual experience. He had a experience with the Sufi religion a few years ago. It is afflicted by Venus, so it can have some effect in the transit chart from time to time. I think it gives him emotional ability to connect emotionally with other people, this moon here, and which is good for politics, makes your speech more authentic, relatable. Mars is at 1 degree, so it's very weak. Any planet that's less than 5 degrees or more than 25 degrees is said to be in old age or adolescence, and it cannot protect or promote its own significations. And Mars is also functional malefic, but it is not close to the most effective point. So it says that he has some healing ability, healing his nation of Pakistan. It says that there can be conflict, and it gives him ability to be competitive in sports. Mars is sports, and wealth through sports, and recognition. He was one of the premier bowlers on his cricket team and has a lot of fame associated with that. And wealth as well. Some wealth came from that. Mercury is at 26 degrees, close to the most effective point in ruling, and it's in its own sign in the house of income, so it gives him great ability to serve, to communicate, have pleasing speech. He wrote some books on cricket and on politics and the history of Pakistan, so it gives him good speaking abilities, and he also was a television critic, a sports commentator, and political commentator too. So Mercury gives that analytical ability. So, and Mercury is conjunct Saturn. Saturn, in this case, gives him statesman abilities, ability to serve. And then also I didn't mention Mars has to do with property. So some of his wealth came through property. And then Jupiter is at 26 degrees, close to the most effective point. It is ruling the house of wealth and recognition and continuation of the marital bond. So it gave some conflict within his marriages. He was married 3 times. And let's see here. I think a healing ability, again, with Jupiter, the ability to teach and heal, and wealth through that. Let's see, gave him children. I think that's it. So Venus is at 16 degrees. It's functional malefic. It's benign, but it does afflict Moon. And this is the house of spiritual growth through letting go of attachment. So he was jailed a couple of times for protests, or I'm not sure, speaking out against certain people. He had some sexual addictions early on, so Venus would be that, and also death threats. So, and Venus in this house gives him a spiritual wife. His wife is a bit of his third wife is a kind of a teacher or guru in the Sufi religion. Saturn is at 24 degrees. It's also close to the most effective point. Gives income through agriculture. Saturn, service, property. Let's see here. Conjunct Mercury. So again, speech, eloquent speech. Rahu and Ketu are benign. They're not afflicting anything that I can tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like Rahu may be afflicting Mercury and Saturn from time to time. But Rahu here gives desire for entrepreneurial success, for business and communication, very successful in buying and selling property. K2 gives spiritual experiences, ability to teach. So those are the main things. Let's see how when the planets were operating in his chart. So he was helped bring his team for the Cricket World Cup in 1992 during a Mars, which is sports, Mercury, which is income period, give success there. He had a Sufi awakening experience during a K2 sub-period, 1993. In April of 96, he founded the centrist party during a Rahu period, to give ambition to be successful in politics. And he had surgery, intestinal blockage, November 2009 during a Rahu-Venus period. So Venus is operation, surgery, and Rahu, unexpected event. Then he had an accident where he was speaking on a forklift and he fell head first. April 7th, 2013 during a Rahu period. And let's see here. Rahu Mars period. So Mars is an accident. And if we look at that chart, the transit chart for that period of time, you can see the outer circle is where the planets are today, or at that May 7th, 2013 when he fell. And the inner circle is where the planets were when he was born, the natal chart. So you can see in the transit chart all these planets in the house of accidents ruled by Mars. So Mars, Mercury, conjunct K2, Sun, conjunct Sun is health, body. So, quite a bit happening during a Rahu Mars period as well. And you can see that Rahu and Mars, or K2, were close to the most effective point, 21 degrees, 22 degrees, very close. So then they can be afflicting 6 out of the 12 houses, causing a lot of issues. So then during August of 2018, he became Prime Minister of Pakistan during a Jupiter-Mercury period. Mercury is that income, gives good success, and Jupiter is politics and leadership. So that makes sense. So what can we do to strengthen this chart? Let's go back to the birth chart. So any of the malefics, we don't want to strengthen. We don't want to make a malefic stronger. So Venus and Mars, we want to transform by wearing white on Fridays for Venus, helping women, listening to chants on Fridays, spiritual chants. Moon or Mars, we want to help men that are like brothers, and listening to chants on Tuesdays, and not wearing red. So you don't want to wear white or red. Excuse me, I said wearing white before. No, avoid wearing red or white colors. Avoid wearing brown or silver or gray colors. And Rahu, you can help those who cannot help themselves. So he did a lot of philanthropy. He started a cancer hospital. And you can listen to chants on Saturdays. K2 helps spiritual organizations. I think he's a big supporter of the Sufi religion. And you can also listen to Ganesh chants on Thursdays or any kind of chants. The other planets could all be strengthened with a kavash, which contains the Devata yantras, or you can wear the colors, or where the gemstone is associated. So moon, you can wear white on Mondays, wear pearls. You can wear yellow on Thursdays, or wear a yellow sapphire. Mercury, green on Wednesdays, or wear green emerald. Saturn, wear blue sapphire, blue on Saturdays. Sun, wear orange on Sundays. So wearing those colors, kavash that contains the Devata yantras, and or gemstones. So those are the ways you could strengthen this chart. So very interesting character. So thank you for listening. If you were interested in a Vedic astrology reading, you can go to www.vastucreations.com under services. There's several types of astrology readings you can get. If you want to learn transformational Vedic astrology and become certified, you can go to American Institute of Vastu.com. And so thank you for listening.